Hello there guys, welcome back to my channel. Sympathies here, and today I'm going to be doing a ranking of all the packs and kind of like a bit of advice on if you haven't got many or you're just getting started with The Sims 4, what sort of packs that you should buy in my opinion. Obviously these are all my opinions, a lot of people might disagree with them, but this is just what I feel like. I'm more of a builder than like a live mode player. But I think that I'm going to just go through them all. I've got an up-to-date tier maker listing, and we're going to rank them as like must-have, good, meh, nope, why does this even exist, basically. So the first thing I'm going to start with is actually going to be the expansion packs. I'm just going to go in the order that they are at the bottom because that's probably like the easiest thing to do. So the first one, as you can see, is going to be Get to Work. This was the first expansion pack that there was. It adds the doctor, detective and scientist careers that you can go with them to work. They're like an active career, which is really cool, and it's one of my favourite features in the game. I love the active careers. I love not having to go to a rabbit hole. It also adds like retail businesses, which again, I love the businesses. I love thinking that you can own something and there's so much you can do with it. Like you can have like different shops and stuff, and sell anything really, sell anything you want. So that's really cool as well. And it also has one of my favourite live states, the aliens. I just love the alien live state. I just think they're so cute, and I love having my Sims be aliens, especially because in this expansion pack you can disguise them so that people don't know that they're an alien, which is really cool too. Another thing that I really like is the fact that you can take your Sim to the hospital to give birth. I think that adds like a touch of realism for me, instead of having to give birth on the lot. And also you can get illnesses too. I mean, my Sims have never ever got illnesses, but you can apparently get illnesses too. And for all these reasons, I'm going to rank the Get to Work pack as actually a must-have pack. I don't know how I would play this game without the Get to Work pack. I think that even though it's the oldest expansion pack, it has a lot of content in it in terms of gameplay. People who like to do the jobs with their Sims, I think this is a brilliant pack for them. And yeah, I could not live without this pack. I think that it's absolutely brilliant. I'd totally recommend it to anybody. It's probably one of my favourite ones. The build and buy is amazing too. And yeah, I love the hidden world of Sixam too. I think it's beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to rank this as must have. And anyway, the next one is going to be Get Together. Get Together again, it is one of the earlier expansion packs, but it is brilliant. It adds Windenburg, which is a massive world that you can place anything in. Like it adds so many lots for you to place stuff down in. It's more like I think it's supposed to be like a bit of like a German vibe in it. It's like very Tudor, like all the buildings are quite old. But it adds a massive world, and that's like a big thing for me, having more space to build. So I love this pack. I also love the build and buy items. They have loads and loads of like Tudor things, and it also adds sort of like just like a lot of wallpapers, a lot of like things that you'd use in building. I think that it's really a good pack for in terms of building stuff. The main focus of the pack is like on getting together as like friends and like in a group. It's for like young people, I suppose. I think that's what it's intended to be. So it adds a club system. This is something I've never really used in the game. It's supposed to be quite good. You can like customize what you want the club to do. So you could have like a bunch of children like just who like to clean. So you could have like all these children in your house just cleaning, and they can meet at, like different lots and stuff. And you can have people of all ages in the clubs. It also adds like partying and dancing and that sort of thing, and like aspirations. It adds a lot of things into the game in that sort of thing. If you like the social aspect and sort of like partying, this is a really good pack to have. And again, if you like building, I think this is a good pack to have too. I'm not going to say that it's a must-have pack. I'm probably going to say it's good because I think that I could do without this pack, to be honest. In terms of gameplay, the world itself is worth it being good. That the reason it's not must-have is because the actual content I think lacks a bit. It adds like the clubs, but again I don't really use them, so for me it's not really like a must-have pack. I could live without this pack. The The next pack we're going to look at is City Living. This is again one of my absolute favourite packs in The Sims. It adds San Myshuno, which is absolutely beautiful. It adds apartments, which is amazing to have in the game. I love living in an apartment and paying rent and not having to manage a massive lot, especially when my Sims are just starting out. I think this is fantastic to have. It also adds more careers. Again, these are like kind of active careers. My favourite career is social media. And you can work from home when doing these careers. It adds social media, critic and politician, so you can work from home doing them, or you can go to work to do them. That's why they're semi-active, because you can stay at home and do them. But I think that these are really good careers to have in the game. I always use a social media career. I think it's really good, and the social media system is brilliant as well. As well as that, they add games consoles, which is one of my favourite things in The Sims. I always have to have like a games console in my Sims home. I think that they are brilliant too. And it adds a few new lots, such as like the karaoke lot and the art centre, and obviously like the apartments and penthouses as well. Are added in this world only, really. I don't think you can have apartments in other worlds. But yeah, I think that is a brilliant pack. It also adds the unflirty trait and the vegetarian trait, and it adds lot traits, and adds a lot of lot traits. And a few, for example, are like on the ley line, which means that you're more likely to have twins, or party place, which means like events go way better at this place, or chef's kitchen, which means you improve your cooking skill faster. It adds collectibles, such as like snow globes, other posters and things like that. And it adds another death, which is death by pufferfish, which I've never tried myself, but I might have to, because I completely forgot this was in the expansion pack. And it adds singing as well, which is again one of my favourite things. And the aspiration of city, like the city aspiration to live there, city native. These are just, it adds so much into the game. This is one of my favourite packs. I don't think now that I could live without this pack, so it's going to go into must have. This is absolutely brilliant. Like I said, the apartments are brilliant, and if you have Discover University, which we'll get onto in a minute, you can have like free mods. I think you can get like roommates and stuff, which is really, really cool. So yeah, so that one is, yeah, must have. That is a brilliant pack. The next one we're going to look at is Cats and Dogs. Cats and Dogs obviously adds cats and dogs. Like, that's a very much of a given with this pack. It adds animals into the game, which is brilliant. This was the first expansion pack I had for The Sims 4. I bought the Sims 4 bundle with the cats and dogs, and I think that I can't really remember which one it was. I had a stuff pack too, but yeah, I bought this first, and it has it adds the skills of like veterinary and pet training, and you can own your own like vet clinic too, which is something I tried to start with, but I just don't find it very interesting, to be honest. It's kind of cool to start with, but it's kind of hard to maintain, and that kind of rubs off, like runs out, like that enthusiasm about it kind of runs out eventually. And it kind of annoyed me a little bit with this pack that the pets were not controllable, because I really enjoyed having them controllable in the Sims 3, and I miss that a lot. You can actually mod the control for the pets in, but I don't feel like we should have to do this. I think sometimes the pets don't eat, or like they don't do something, and you get quite annoyed with them, because you think, well, why are they not doing that? And they're like needs, you can't see what their needs are, so you kind of have to guess, which is kind of frustrating. So this pack, I do like the world Brindleton Bay. I think that it's really cute, really nice place, and I do like the build and buy items that come with it, but I would not say that this pack was must have at all. I mean, if you like to have pets, then yeah, for you then it might be, but I don't think that it's a must have pack. I don't really even necessarily think that it's a good pack. I think it's probably like meh. I don't really think it's all it's hyped up to be. I think it's interesting to have cats and dogs. I miss the fact that they used to have horses in The Sims 3 as well. They don't really like add much to the game for me. I sometimes have them and like just forget that they're there. I try every time to like get them and see whether it's going to be different, but it isn't. I just find them a bit of a burden, really. So yeah, I'm just going to rank that one as meh. A lot of people might disagree with me on that, but that's just how I feel about the pack. And the next one is Seasons. Seasons, I feel, is very like overhyped. It adds weather and it adds holidays and the calendar system into the game. It also adds like new careers, like such as gardener. I think you could do flower arranging and stuff as well. and it adds a few like aspiration rewards to do with the temperature and stuff. It adds a lot of like build and buy. It adds scouting as well, which I really like the scouting for the kids to do. I think that was really good for me because up until then we didn't really have like after school activities for the kids. So this is what I feel was really nice that they added in. And yeah, I don't feel like this pack is all it's hyped up to be. I think the weather is a little bit overrated. I feel like I could totally live without the weather. It sometimes is really annoying. If you like realism, then obviously this is very good for you, like to have seasons and stuff. The holidays I never use, I just cancel them off. I'm not interested in them really. And the calendar is probably the only thing that I really like because I can see ahead like what's going on. So for this reason, I'm gonna just like put it as meh. Like, that is probably going to be a really unpopular opinion, but I just don't find this pack worth it, to be honest. I don't think that it's that good. I think that other seasons in the past have been a lot better. It doesn't add as much for me. The reason it's going in meh is because like I just don't use the features. I could happily turn them off, and also the build and buy is good, and I really like the items, but again, I could live without them, to be honest. So yeah, it's going like average, like meh. The next one is Get Famous. I love Get Famous. I think that it's a really good pack. I love the fame system and the reputation system. I think that they are really interesting to play with. It adds like a streaming career. You can be like a streamer or a YouTuber, career with the station. You can be like a media production. You can be a media producer. You can also be an actor, which is really cool too. You can have an acting skill, and also while you're in school you can do the drama club, which is really cool too, because you can have this aspiration from a young age and like build up into it. They adds a few aspirations too, which is really good. The build and buy for me is absolutely brilliant. I love they look like luxury items. And the building of like mansions, Dissolve Valley. I know that it's quite small compared to other places, but I really love the world itself. I think that it's beautiful, and I just love to build things with this expansion pack. I don't think I could build without this expansion pack, so for this reason I'm going to give it a must have. It is a brilliant pack. It being famous is it has its own challenges obviously, but it adds so much into the game. I used to mod this in, to be honest. I used to mod the like a fame system into the game before this was released, so I absolutely love this pack, and I think that you guys would love it too. I think it's amazing. And the next one we're going to go on to is Island Living, and this is 100% my favourite pack in the entire game. I absolutely love Island Living, and that might be an unpopular opinion, but I love it. It is absolutely brilliant. It adds the world of Solani, and along with it comes a variety of things such as like mermaids and dolphins. Like mermaids as a life state is, for me, was really interesting to have that in the game. And also you can go to the beach and you can go and swim in the ocean, which is something that people have been asking for a really long time, and a lot of people thought that it might come with seasons in add a world, and for me that was kind of disappointing that it didn't, because I think all the other ones did, and seasons didn't. Like, I don't know why, but the build objects are amazing. It's like Hawaiian themed almost, like very they're just very nice. Like, they're very simple. You get the off the grid trait as well, which is really nice to play as. This allows you to like live without like electricity and stuff. It's really interesting to play with. As well as this, they have several different careers that this game adds, this pack adds, which is the conservationist, which I really like too. You can go and like clean up the beach and stuff. It also adds like diver, fisherman and lifeguard, which are part-time jobs, but I think they're part-time jobs, I'm not sure. I know that you can't go, they're not active, but those are interesting too. And it adds like a ton of collectibles such as like buried treasure and seashells, and you can like scuba dive and take pictures underwater, and you can do odd jobs as well. This pack for me, the world is absolutely beautiful, the build and buy items are absolutely beautiful, and just the gameplay itself, I love to go in Solani and just like play around in there. I think that it's absolutely brilliant, so for me this is a must-have. I mean, I've got 4 must-haves, but these are must-have packs. I don't think I can live without these so far. The next one, the last expansion pack that's been released, is actually Discover University, and a lot of people have probably seen this because this was a much desired pack for The Sims. This adds Brightchester, which has like 2 universities, which are like Foxbury and Bright University, so like there's the old one and the new one. It adds degrees, and there's a ton of degrees. It adds loads and loads of things into the game. It also adds new skills such as like robotics, which allows you to create like a servo eventually, which is like, it's a robot that you can like play as, and it's like a live state. It's brilliant. It adds the debate club, and it adds some new careers too, such as the education career, the engineering career, and the law career. You can also do an esport and football team. Like, you can do that after school or university, whatever it's called, after college, on the side. So this is really cool too. And it adds piercings, which a lot of people wanted on their face, like nose piercing and eyebrow piercings and things. So like, it adds very good. I think that the not the custom content, the cast objects for this pack were absolutely amazing. This is one of the best cast objects I've seen for a while. I really like them. I haven't even talked much about them on the others because I just don't find them like that good, but I really like them in this this pack. As well as this, you can have roommates, which are like non-playable characters, and they don't even show up in your household, which is really good because a lot of the time you might want your sim to have roommates and stuff, but they don't, and that's kind of like they'd show up in your thing, and then they add space, so you can't have like as many people, but you can have like 10 roommates, I think, or something, which is quite cool. It adds organisations and societies and skill classes, and it also adds a mini fridge, which for me is like really cool as well. For gameplay, I don't really like enjoy this game, this pack. I don't really enjoy University. I find it too hard. But the build and buy and the cast objects really do it for me. I think they're brilliant. So I'm going to give this a good. I'm not going to give it a must-have because I could totally do without this pack if I didn't have it in my game. But I do think that it's a good pack. I originally said that I really didn't like this pack, but I realised how much I use the stuff in there, and especially the cast objects I really like. So that's going to be a good. Okay, so moving on to the game packs. The first one we have is Outdoor Retreat. Outdoor Retreat was, I think, the first game pack. It adds Granite Falls, which is like where you can go on vacation with your Sims. It also adds like campfires and tents and all the sort of things you'd need for camping, as well as it adds herbalism and like the Squeamish trait for like if you're outside and you don't like bugs and stuff. That's what it adds. So like for me, this is one of the more recent ones I bought, and the reason was I didn't really want to get it because I just didn't think it looked very interesting, and I was kind of right. I just don't think that it is really like worth it. It doesn't really add much into my game. I wouldn't even notice it was there. The only thing I do like is the plants and stuff that it adds, like in terms of like the build and buy, it adds like plants for you to like place, and I really like the plants it adds. But apart from that, I don't think that it really adds much. I've actually never been to Granite Falls. I've no interest in going there, to be honest. I've done like some camping sites like on the other worlds, and I just don't find them very good, to be honest. It's not really my thing. I do like camping in real life, but I just don't think that it's a very good pack, to be honest. I know some people might disagree, but I just don't like this pack at all. So I'm gonna just put like nope, because this pack, I can see why some people would like it. So it's just a no for me. I don't really think that I needed this pack. So the next pack is Spa Day. Spa Day adds spas and sort of like revolves around like relaxing and just sort of meditating, and like it's all about that sort of thing. It adds a wellness skill. You can also have a sauna, like there's a sauna and things, and it adds like massage tables, and like you can give each of them massages and stuff. Again, for me, in terms of like gameplay, I've never used this. I've never been to the spa. The Sims have never been for like a spa day. I just don't think there's much point in it. Obviously, again, I can see why it's a thing, but I just don't know why they had to be like its own pack. Like it could have been in another pack. And also like the only thing I would really say that I use this for at the moment is the build and buy. I really do love them build and buy objects, and to be honest, for the build and buy like the build mode objects, it's worth it alone, to be honest, because you do get a lot of things, and a lot of this stuff is very nice, like the sofas and stuff are really cool. So I'm gonna put this one in like meh, because like it's not really worth it in terms of gameplay, but it's worth it in terms of like if you like building. I think that is quite alright, so that's where I'm going to place that one. The next one is Dine Out. Again, I really like the build objects that come with Dine Out, especially the plants and like the potted plants and the pictures for the wall and the aquariums and stuff. I think that they are really pretty, and I do really like the build stuff. But for me, this game doesn't work. This game doesn't work very well. You can go to the restaurant, and you can be there for days, and it's like you just want to go for like an hour to have something to eat, and like you're there for ages, and it just doesn't really work. I haven't tried controlling my own restaurant really because I've heard that it's super broken, and this is, again, they could have done a pack that had like a lot, like the lots in. To me, it's supposed to be similar for open for business and that sort of thing, but I don't really think it works very well. It's not renowned for being really glitchy, so I'm just going to put it in there as well, because if they could fix it, I think that it'd be really good, but they haven't fixed it yet, so it's not that good. The next one is Vampires. For me, I don't like to play as Supernatural Sims. I have no interest in it whatsoever, so in terms of like in that, it adds vampires into the game. In terms of that, I would never use that, so for me that is negated. Like, the only reason that I have this is for the build objects, and I got it as part of a bundle. So the build objects for me are really good. I really enjoy the build objects, and I think that I use them in most of my builds, so I do like that. But apart from that, I just don't think it's very interesting. I never go to the world, the Forgotten Hollow. It's just not like that good. The only thing I would say is good is you do get a world with a game pack, which not all of the game packs have worlds with, so this is quite good in that aspect. So I'm going to put this one in there as well, just because personally I don't use them, but like some people might like them. Another thing, the next pack is Parenthood, which in my opinion is the best game pack. This adds a lot of stuff. So it adds character values for your children. It allows you to parent better. You can like, they can ask you questions and you have to make like an answer, and it affects their empathy or like their responsibility traits and stuff. They have like until they turn into an adult, they have all these, and if you can like max them out, they end up either way, they end up with either negative or positive traits that come with it. Like, they can be irresponsible in adulthood as well, like because of the way that you've raised them, so it affects that. And the parenting score is really interesting too to have. It's really nice to be able to build something up as a parent, especially for ones like that pay as stay-at-home mom or something. They add it's like looks like a planner. It adds it's a wall object, and this allows you to like set curfews for your children, or you can like add little stickers and stuff, like little notes for each other. It's like a calendar a little bit. They also can have phases where they go through like different hormonal changes, and they might or like as a child they might want to dress up as a bear or something and like walk around, like I don't know. They do lots of different things, which is very, very funny. They add like a few different objects, such as like journals. It adds school projects that you can do with your parents. It adds it just adds a lot of toys for like children that like affect empathy and stuff, and it adds parenting aspirations as well, which are really cool. So for me, this pack is one of the first I bought as well, and for me this is one I could not live without. The build objects are really good. The cast objects are brilliant too. This is definitely a must-have pack. I recommend this to anybody. This is absolutely brilliant. This is one of the best packs in the game. It's known to be, but I really just love this pack so much. The next one we're going to look at is Jungle Adventure, which, like Outdoor Retreat, adds a vacation world, which is Salvadora. So it adds Salvadora into the game, which is like a jungle, overgrown world, and I absolutely love the world. I think that it's brilliant, it's beautiful. I love building here, it's just really nice. Another thing with this pack is I absolutely love the build objects that come with it. They are absolutely amazing. Honestly, they're like some of the best that I've ever seen. I love them so much. I love to build with them. As well as this, the cast objects are really good too. I really love all the hairs and stuff that come with it. It's just really nice. The archaeology skill and the Salvadorian culture skills as well. You can go to the world and it seems like there's a lot to do, like exploring the jungle and things. It has like a live state, which is skeletons, but they're not like, I don't think they're a playable live state. They're like an NPC, which that's nice to have in the game as well, another live state. As well as this, it has lots of like relics and stuff that you can find, and lots of things you can explore, and it's all about that sort of thing. I think this pack is, there's the last one I bought actually, this is the one I bought most recently, but I really do like this pack. I think that it's really cute, and I've just started exploring the jungle and stuff, and I think that it's really nice to have in the game. I'm not going to say it's must have because it doesn't appeal to everyone. I could probably live without this and have for this long, so for me it's going to be this is a really good pack, and I really enjoy this jungle adventure pack, to be honest. The next one is Strangerville. So Strangerville adds a story into the game. So the story is you go to the world of Strangerville, and all the people are like weird, and you don't know what's the matter with them, and you have to find out what the matter is. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is in case you don't know, but that's what it adds into the game. This story mode doesn't take very long. It's not very like immersive, and for me it's interesting to have in the game, but it's not like something you need to have. So I'm just gonna say that this one is like probably meh, because it does add some good like build mode objects and things into it, but it doesn't really like make sense, to be honest. It's kind of interesting, the concept, but I don't think it's like very well executed. So like it is alright. It's an alright pack. That's all I'm gonna say on it. Okay, so the next one is Realm of Magic. This is one that, again, I haven't really got much of an interest in because I don't like to play as supernatural sims. I don't really want to do that. So for me, it adds like spellcasters into it, and the world of Glimmerbrook, and the world of Glimmerbrook is really pretty and nice. The world, it's not very big, but the build mode objects as well are absolutely beautiful for this, but just for me this is just something that does not appeal to me whatsoever at all, and some people might like this, but I think there's not much depth to it. So for me this is going to be a no, because I just don't like, it's just not something that I'm interested in, and I'd only really use it for the build mode objects. Okay, so we're moving on to the stuff packs. I'm just going to say before I start talking about these, a lot of these stuff packs for me, I don't really understand them. That's just personally, it kind of pains me to have to buy them, because I think they're quite a lot for what they are when the game pack's only a little bit more than them. But yeah, I'm just going to rank them anyway. I don't want to say too much because it sounds like I'm being a little bit critical, but to me, yeah, I'll just not go into it. But the first one we're going to look at is Luxury Party Stuff. So this one is the first stuff pack that came out. It adds some items in the game which like they're meant for like partying basically. There's like a buffet table and what's supposed to be like a chocolate fountain, I think that's what it is. For me, I just don't understand why this was a pack. This is, to me, like this could have been incorporated into Get Together, which is a lot about partying. Luxury Party just doesn't feel worth it at all. I had this as part of a bundle, and even then I just think I don't use the things. They do have some nice like cast items and stuff, but I just don't get it. Like, I'm sorry, but I just do not get this pack. I don't understand why it's a thing when it could have just been in this. And this is probably going to be the opinion for a lot of these things, but that's just how I feel, to be honest with you. So the next one is Perfect Patio Stuff, which adds hot tubs. It also adds like some really, really nice outdoor furniture. I actually really like this pack, to be honest. I bought it because I wanted hot tubs in my game. I really do like it, and I really, really love the furniture that comes with it. I think this is actually really good. I actually really do like this, and so I'm going to give it a good rating because I think that it is a useful pack in terms of build, and as far as the stuff pack goes, I think that it's quite good for me anyway. The next one is Core Kitchen Stuff. With this adds kitchen things, understandably. It adds an ice cream machine, and it also adds like some kitchens, like units, like cabinets and things, and some other things like some like clutter that kind of looks like kitcheny sort of ware, like knives and stuff, that sort of thing, and pans. For me, this isn't really one that like is really that interesting. It does what it says in the tin. It's not anything more, but I really feel like they could have included a bit more with it. Some of the stuff packs we have actually have a lot of things in them, but some of them just don't have anything, and there's no basis to them. So for me, this is gonna be like a nope. I could definitely just get this out of my game and just not even care that it was gone, because like it just doesn't. appeal to me, to be honest. It's not that good, and I could live without the cabinets. It only adds one set of kitchen cabinets, and I could live without them. So the next one is spooky stuff. Again, I just don't understand this pack. This is one that I had like for free. I didn't pay for this, but for me, I just never ever use the build objects. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's a pack. This could have been incorporated into like vampires or something. It just doesn't make sense to me. It adds a pumpkin carving station and like some other things like for a party, I suppose, like a spooky party. But for me, I don't really understand like why this has been a sole pack that's been released, because it's kind of a seasonal thing. It could have been in seasons. It could have been like part of like the events that are in there. So for me, this is going to be, oh, why does this even exist? Harsh but true. I just don't like this pack. I just don't get it, and I never ever use the build mode objects. The next one is the most recent one I got, actually, in terms of stuff pack. It's Movie Hangout. This was actually just reduced on the store. For me, I really do like this pack. It's kind of good in the terms of it adds like the big TV and the popcorn machine, and you can make like a little outdoor cinema, and that makes a really nice lot. I do like it, and I do think that it has a place in the game. I think that it's quite interesting. So for me, this is going to be like, I'm going to go with a meh, because it's not really something that you think, yeah, I need to have this pack. But when it's on sale, I mean, like, why not? It was £5, I think, on sale recently, so I just got it. I was thinking, like, you know, I may as well have it, and I've enjoyed it so far. I do like what it adds to the game, so yeah, that's pretty good. The next one is Romantic Garden Stuff. This one adds like a wishing well into the game. It also has like quite Victorian looking build mode objects and like fountains and stuff. It's supposed to be like quite like pretty build objects, and I do like the look of them. They look very nice. For me, I think the build objects are worth it alone, but again, I'm going to give this one a meh, because it's a live without. Like, it doesn't really, if you've run out of things to buy, I think this is one that you can get, because like it adds some good build mode objects, but apart from that, it doesn't really add anything in terms of gameplay. It's just for the decorative purposes. So if you like building, then that is good for you. But yeah, so the next one is kids room stuff. I really like this pack. It adds a lot more options for the kids stuff. It adds the like battle station and things for them to play with. It adds many like items for their rooms, and I think this overall like is a good stuff pack as far as they go. I think this is a very like well respected stuff pack by the community, so I'm going to put this one as good, because I really do like it as well. The next one is the backyard stuff. This adds a water slide, wind chimes, bird feeders, all sort of things that you would have in a back garden. The water slide is just one of those like slip and slides for the floor. It's not like a proper water slide. But this pack, again, this is just one that I just don't like understand. Like, it's kind of good in terms of like it adds a few objects, but it's not really something that I feel like I need in my game right now. So for me, this is like a nope. I don't really, it's not something I would use. It's not something that like I'm interested in. So I don't really like it, but that's just my opinion. Like I've said, they're all my opinions. Like, you guys might disagree with them, but that's fine. The next one is Vintage Glamour. I absolutely love this stuff pack. This is probably an unpopular opinion as well, that I love this stuff pack so much. It adds a butler. It also adds like a vanity table and vintage sort of like fashion into the game. I really, really like it. I really love the wallpapers. I love the floors. I love like everything it adds into the game. Everything I use all the time. It's one of the first ones I got, and I just use it so much. It's kind of that's all it really does, really. It's just supposed to be like adding a bit more build stuff into the game. I'm going to rate it as good. I don't think it's a must have, because I definitely think you can do without this pack, but I don't really like, I do like it, and I don't really want to say like bad things about it, because I do like this pack a lot. But it's definitely good, and it's definitely one that you should like, you could consider getting, and I think that it's, as far as stuff packs goes, I think it's really good too. Okay, so the next one is Bowling Night. Bowling Night obviously adds bowling, and it adds some quite nice cast objects, like quite retro looking cast objects and build objects. I don't really use it. I used to use it a lot when it was one of the first packs I got. I mean, in a bundle, but I don't really like use it that much. So for me, it's probably like a no, because I don't really think that it's necessary to have. I think that it's kind of that's all it is. It adds like a bowling skill and bowling, but like that is it. And really, you're not more times often than not, you're not gonna bother having a bowling night. You might have one once and then just think, okay, not again. But like to me, it's all right. It's an all right pack, but it's not really one that I feel like I need in my game. So the next one is fitness stuff. Fitness stuff adds like obviously fitness things like treadmills and stuff, like a lot more. They look very modern and high tech. They adds like this rock wall that moves as you like climb on it. It adds earbuds and stuff into the game too, which are like little headphones. But I do like this pack and I do use the things in it, but I just think it's very empty again. I don't think that it adds that much into the game. I don't really see I don't find it very interesting, and definitely could do without this pack, very much so. I think the only reason I've got a lot of these packs is because like to complete the ones I've got, like I just feel like I have to like get them because I want like to have all of them. So for me this is going to be a nope as well. I just don't think that it's very interesting. The earbuds could have been added in like an update or something. They're not really like very vital to the game. So yeah. The next one is Toddler Stuff. I love Toddler Stuff pack. This is amazing. This is the best stuff pack in my opinion. It adds loads of clothes for the toddlers. It adds like hairs and stuff. It also adds this like tube climbing frame thing, and it adds a ball pit, and it adds like loads of toys for them. For me this is really vital because I like playing as a family in my game, and I feel like this is absolutely brilliant. I think this does exactly what you'd want it to do, and I absolutely love this, and I think it's a must-have stuff pack. I think that it's for anybody who loves family, is like playing with a family. I think that it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's going in my must-have column. The next one is Laundry Day. This obviously adds like laundry stuff. This was the community pack. It was voted for by our community, and personally, I don't get it. Like, I'm sorry, but I just do not get this. I just don't understand why you would add laundry stuff into the game, like why you would want to have a laundry. Like obviously some people like realism, and like I like realism to some extent, but like I mean I do laundry in real life. I don't really want to do it in The Sims, and I don't really like doing jobs, so for me this is kind of boring, and I don't understand why it's a thing. Like I just don't know why the community voted for this, and I'm sorry if you guys disagree and you like this pack, but I just hate it. I'm sorry, I don't like this at all. I don't understand it, so it's going in the why does this even exist column. The next one is My First Pet. So this one is extremely controversial, as you guys, or if you've played The Sims before, you'll probably know how controversial this pack was. You have to have cats and dogs to buy this pack. It adds small creatures which were present in the past expansion packs for The Sims had pets. They were called pets, so they had pets, and they had small pets, and they had cats and dogs. The Sims decided in The Sims 4 they decided to split them up, so they made the cats and dogs pack, and this is the small creatures pack. Now I know there's nothing wrong with them as per se, but like for me you've got to pay like £10 for this stuff pack, which you've already had to buy a £30 expansion pack. So I just don't understand why they've done this. Like I think they regret it. I think I'm not criticising them now, I'm not going into it too much, but I think they regret it, and it's just a bit unfair to the people who don't have cats and dogs, who might want like the small pets, don't really know why you have to have cats and dogs to buy it. I know it adds like clothes and stuff for your cats and dogs, but like I just don't get that. So this is going to go in the what does even exist, because like obviously I can't justify this existing. I don't really understand why they did this, but yeah, so I don't get it. Moving on, we'll go on to Machina stuff. So this is the first stuff pack they did, which was like with a brand. This is really interesting that they did this, because a lot of people like want to see like build stuff packs like with IKEA and stuff, and that'll be really interesting, and hopefully that'll come, because in doing this stuff pack with a brand, this kind of shows that they're like reaching out, and that they might want to in the future like look into like doing more with other brands. And a recent survey we had to suggested that they might do that too. So this adds like the fashion items of Machino, and it also adds the like freelance photographer thing, so you can do like fashion shoots and stuff. For me, there's not really much to it. I don't really feel like I need this in my game. I don't feel like it's a vital part of a game. I don't think that I think I can see why they've done it. It's definitely not why does this even exist. It's definitely not in that column, but it's probably in a nope, because I don't really think that there's much point in me, like for me, I don't really enjoy this pack. I don't really use the stuff that comes in it. A lot of people might like the cast objects, and that's a personal choice, and for me, I don't feel like it's really, if you've bought all of these like things, then I think, yeah, go for it. But I don't think like it's one that you need to have right away. I think that it can wait till later on, and like I said, I could live without it in my game. But yeah, so finally, after all, I don't know how many packs there are, but over 30, but we've finally come on to the last one, which is the most recently released one, which is Tiny Living. It adds a ton of build and buy and cast objects. I absolutely love the cast. I love the build and buy. It adds things to like make like combination things, such as like a stereo and a TV on a stand all in one. It adds a Murphy bed, so you can like pull it down and sleep, or like it has a sofa on it and then you can like pull it down over the top. It's quite like, it adds like space saving stuff. Another thing it adds is like the micro homes and the small homes and the tiny homes. So like these are based on how many tiles you have, and it gives you perks if you have a smaller house, which is a really interesting concept, to be honest. I really do like tiny homes. I think they're quite efficient and nice, and they're interesting to have in the game. The only thing is with this pack, I just don't know why. Like the Murphy bed is supposed to be space saving, but it takes up like the same space as a normal bed would. So for me, that doesn't make sense, and it also kills you many times out of the time you try and put it down. It kills you. People have like made mods to like stop this happening because it's really irritating. It's funny if it happens like occasionally, but like this is literally like 1 in 3, maybe even more than that. Like this thing will come down on you and just like kill your sim. I like the tiny homes. I think that the tiles idea is really cool. I really like the cast objects. I really like the build objects. For me, this is going to go into probably, I might put it in must have. I do think this is a really good pack. I really think it adds a lot, and apart from that Murphy bed thing, I think that it's a really interesting pack. As far as stuff pack goes, I think that it's a brilliant one. So this is my tier list. As you can see, I would totally recommend, if you've just bought The Sims and you're watching this, or even if you haven't, if you're gonna like buy things, from my recommendation personally, I would say you'd like go from this tier downwards. These are like the way that you buy them. So like get these ones first. Like these are really good. These are amazing packs, and then just carry on down. But yeah, guys, if you obviously like I've said, this is my opinion. I'm not trying to be really like picky, but for me, this is just how I feel. And if you guys disagree, then that's fine. I'm not bothered. But this is just how I feel about the packs currently. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope that it helped some of you that might be looking at buying some more of the packs and might be looking at like what sort of things that they include, or my sort of like what their strengths and weaknesses are. But thank you guys for watching this video, and if you enjoy Sims related videos, then feel free to subscribe to my channel, and also give me a thumbs up to show that you enjoyed this. Thank you guys again so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys all in my next one. Bye.